All right.
Listening to Hawk Talk on the Skyhawks Sports Radio Network. And here's your host, Kris, Barrett.
Hello, Skyhawk fans, and welcome to another edition of Hawk Talk on the Skyhawks Sports Radio Network. Today we're going to preview the 2014 Skyhawk baseball season. Today I'm joined with fellow broadcaster on the Skyhawks Sports Radio Network and former Skyhawk baseball player, Jarron Gore. Jarron, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Kris.
Jarron, you were a pitcher in your days at Scott. Elaborate a little bit on what you have to do to be successful as a pitcher.
Kris, really I think the number one thing you have to do is throw strikes at the high school level. You can't, if you start walking people, you're going to get in trouble. So really you just have to stay ahead of the batter and continue to throw strikes.
Jarron, tell us a little bit about your career. What was your favorite moment of your Scout career?
I'd have to say a lot of people won't remember this game probably. It was the McDonald's tournament. I'm not sure which year. I think my senior year, maybe junior year. But we were playing Polka, and Polka wasn't a dominant team at the time, and they probably still aren't. I'm not sure. But I was hitting my spots, which was rare, and I just felt like I was throwing the ball hard, and they weren't hitting anything I was throwing. So it was a pretty dominant performance on my part, I guess. But that's really the one I remember, and it's not one most people would remember.
Well, that's what pitching's all about. You go out there for that one day where you can hit your spots and dominate the game. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of that game, and can remember him coming in and shutting the door on Polka and helping us win a couple games there in the McDonald's tournament. For those of you who may have been away from high school baseball the last couple of years, the SSAC, whenever they realigned sections, they have come up with a new format for the Scott sectional. It is now a 3-game series between Chapmanville. Last season, the Skyhawks were able to come out on top and win the sectional championship in 3 games. It was drawn out over around a week and a half. It was real intense 3 games, as you'll hear from Coach Kuhn later on. It was just great baseball. Jarron, this is something I want to talk to you a little bit about. When we were in high school and we played, we shared a section with Chapmanville and Logan. It was always great baseball. Talk about some of the possibilities this opens up a little bit for a team like Scott and Chapmanville to be able to go on.
Well, I really like having more than 2 teams in a section, but I guess the deal with having 2 teams, you get to play a 3-game series, and who wouldn't want to play 3 games? The old section, if you lost, you were out. So here, you could have a bad game, which is going to happen. You just don't want it to happen in the tournament. But if you do, then you're still alive.
Yeah, and it seemed like our section was one of the toughest sections in AA. You had Logan, who had a tremendous run there in a couple years in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and are still on a great run. It always seemed like it went through them, and being able to play a 3-game series against one opponent, especially an opponent that is your rival that you see twice within a year, it really helps out, I believe. You get to come in, and like you said, if you have that one bad game, there's always that tomorrow. You just hope that one bad game doesn't come in the elimination game.
Yeah, I agree there completely.
But as we said, last season the Skyhawks were able to capture the sectional championship against Chapmanville and move on to regionals where they faced the Wayne Pioneers. The Skyhawks would lose that game to finish their season. This year, the Skyhawks lost 4 seniors they got to try to replace, including Forrest Spurlock, who is now at Garrett College. So we want to wish him luck. But it's a new look. It's a team that's got to pretty much come in and get some momentum early, play some great defense, and have their pitchers come in and throw strikes. You can't afford to get down early and miss those opportunities that might make you stronger at the end of the year as you try to make a run to the sectionals and regionals. Skyhawks will open up the 2014 campaign with a scrimmage this Saturday in Beckley against Oak Hill. They will open up the first regular season game against the Sissonville Indians on March 21st, Friday, at 6:30 p.m. Then they'll come home for their first home contest Saturday, March 22nd, against the Van Bulldogs, the in-county rival, at noon. Jarron, question for you. Early on in the season, you may not be contest ready at times, but what's a way that you can make sure that you get over the hump and are ready for those first few games?
I mean, the season needs to start well before these first couple of games, and as we know, I mean, right now these guys are practicing hard, they're training, they're working out. So really, when the games actually start, I mean, these first few games, everybody's going to be a little bit rusty. I mean, it's been a while. You just need to do the basics. You need to field the ground balls, stay in front of them. Pitcher needs to throw strikes, and when you're batting, you just need to make contact. And that, if you do that in these first few games, I think you'll pull out some W's.
It's a game of basics. It's still field the ball, hit the ball, catch the ball, and that's what you got to do. First couple games. We was able to catch up with a couple of the players and interview them, and we'll let you go ahead and hear some of those right now. All right, we're here with Scott Senior Dylan Brown. Dylan, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Dylan, you're a senior this year. Last year you made it to the regionals, lost to Wayne. What are some things that you done to make sure you got back to that point and maybe being able to go to Charleston this year in state tournament?
Well, me and a couple of the other guys, we've been in the gym every day, working our tails off, trying to get better. Been coming in here hitting. Coach has done great to throwing us BP every day, working with us a lot more, taking a lot of infield, and we're looking pretty good.
Okay. As a senior, that comes with some added responsibilities, being a leader, things like that. Can you elaborate on what you could do to better not only yourself but also your teammates around you?
Yeah, we're a team that likes to cut up and carry on a lot, but I think we all know there's a time on the field when we got to be serious and when we can joke around in the clubhouse. But you got to step up as a leader during infield practice when it's going slow. You got to step up, tell them to pick up the pace, not lollygag and throw the ball in hard. But that's about it. We're not that bad.
Okay, what's your lasting moment up until this point that you'll remember?
I probably have to say last year when I had the sack fly to a tie game against Chapmanville in the sectional tournament. That was a pretty big moment. So.
All right, that's Senior Dylan Brown. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Junior Garrett Castle. Garrett pitches and also plays first base. Garrett, what are some things as a pitcher you did to get ready for this upcoming season?
I just came to conditioning and just get my arm stronger throughout the off season, so I'll pick up where I left off last year.
Okay, as a team, you guys was able to capture a sectional championship last year and go to regionals. What are some things as an individual and also as a team that you hope to accomplish this year?
I think we all can feel better, and especially myself, and then our hitting.
Okay. What is your favorite moment thus far up until this point that you'll remember?
Definitely beating Chapmanville in the sectional title.
All right, the few words from Junior Garrett Castle. Thank you. All right, I'm here joined now with Junior Cody Harvey. Cody's a pitcher and plays outfield. Cody, what are some of the things you worked on this past year after a regional run that you prepared most for in the offseason?
Kris, definitely my hitting. I kind of slacked in that field, and, I put a lot of time and effort in, trying to improve that this year and just making sure I'm conditioned and ready to play for the season this year and making sure my arm's in shape, definitely.
And as a pitcher, what are some of the things you're focused on this upcoming season?
Definitely getting the ball over the plate, making sure I make smart decisions, and, listening to what Coach Napier has to say and Coach Burns and the coaching staff, and just stay focused and not get ahead of myself.
Your lasting memory so far, I know you still got this year, next year to go, but tell the viewers out there what your lasting memory is thus far.
Definitely the rivalry the rivalry we had between Chapmanville that played out all season, and then we, coming out on top in the sectional title and winning that game. That was probably the best moment.
All right, that's junior Cody Harvey. Thanks for joining the show. All right, I'm joined now with Alex Miller. Alex, you had an injury at the end of last year that kept you out of most of the sectionals and the one regional game. You did play a bit of a key part in that one regional game, the sectional game, where you come in and you were able to shut the door on Chapmanville. What are some of the things you've done this offseason, though, to make sure your injury has been healed and you're ready to go?
I've just been icing, and I've been in the gym all winter, just getting stronger and just getting my body in as good a shape as it could be in for this year.
As a pitcher, I know you work really hard on your mechanics and everything like that. What's something you made sure you really worked on this past offseason?
I just made sure I was really good. I was getting my hips into it and just using my lower body to bring myself through the strike zone.
Last year's regional game and the sectional championship, it was the first one since the 96-99 team that your uncle, Eric Harper, was on part of. Explain the emotions that ran through, being a part of that team and being the first one in a long time.
Oh, there was a lot of emotions because stretched out over about a week and a half, and all of the trash talking between Scott and Chapmanville. It was just really relief when we won it, and I was just really excited. Just wish my papa was here to see that since it's been such a long time.
Okay, and we know your grandfather was such a big part of this program for many years. His also named after the field house here. It's the Larry Harper Memorial Fieldhouse. Being able to prepare in a facility like this, and especially it being named after your grandfather, what's that like?
Oh, it's amazing. When there's 6 inches of snow on the ground, you can just come in here in the heat and just do whatever you need to do, just get yourself better.
All right, thank you for joining the show. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm here with sophomore Andrew Prince. Andrew, you're going to probably be starting shortstop this year. You come in last year as a freshman and played some key roles. Talk about that, being a freshman.
Well, it was a great experience. I was really excited to get on the field and be able to help my team win a lot of games, and that was something I was proud to be a part of.
What are some of the things you worked on this past off season in order to better yourself so that you could try to get that starting job?
Well, I've worked hard and tried to get better in every situation of the game, offense and defense. I've worked hard to get stronger and faster and just get better at every situation I possibly can.
Okay, last year you all were able to win the sectional championship against Chapmanville. Explain your reaction to that type of win and also being able to beat a rival in the Tigers.
Oh, it was exciting. There's no way to explain it, but we hope to do that again this year and hope after that we can go even farther this year.
All right, thanks to sophomore Andrew Prince, and we look forward to hearing from you again. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, I'm here with Scott hitting coach Eric Harper. Eric, you come in last season. You was able to win the sectional championship game, go into regionals. Explain the feeling that was, being able to take a team, probably the first team since your team that won the state championship back in '96. Just describe that feeling, being able to do that.
It was a great feeling for those boys to feel a little bit of success down here. A lot of emotion. We really worked hard in the off season on getting to that point. We've had a bad streak with Chapmanville here, probably since 2000. But they really worked hard on getting to where they're at, and that paid off. We won that sectional game, and the emotions were high. It was one of the better moments I've had down here as a coach.
Okay, you're Scott's hitting coach. Explain to the audience what that entails. Some people that may not know about what a hitting coach may do.
Basically, I just work with the kids on a lot of the whole aspect of hitting. I try to take great pride in that. We've had a lot of good hitting teams down here. Scott's known for their hitting. really, really working hard on that. We a lot of times we all joke around as coaches and stuff that we're going to out-hit you and we're going to put more runs on the board, and we've had a lot of success with that.
Okay, I know you had your dad, Larry, was able to be a part of your teams growing up. What's it like being able to coach your nephew, Alex?
Oh, it's a great honor. I've been with Alex since he was, I think, 10 years old. That's when I started working with him. And it's nice now to see the benefits of putting in all that hard work with him and seeing him, the hitter he's become to this point. It's just a great feeling to sit back and watch him hit.
Okay. What are some of your keys to this season to make sure that you guys make it back to that regional and get over that hump and try to make it to Charleston in the state championship?
We've lost several of our hitters from last year's team. One of them being Forrest he's playing college ball now, and he's going to be hard to replace, as well as Devin, Bear, and a couple of the other boys. We got a long way to go with that. We lost some key bats in that lineup, and I think we've got some kids coming in that's really worked hard this offseason into stepping in and filling those roles as players.
All right, that's hitting coach Eric Harper. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I'm joined now with the pitching coach, Danny Napier. Danny, last season you was able to win the sectional title and go to regionals. Explain the feeling you had being able to be a part of that team and coaching.
Well, that was the first sectional championship that won here since 1999, and bringing it back to Scott High School was a great feeling. Taking these boys as a young team and under Head Coach Kuhn in his first year and winning it, it was really emotional, and everyone worked hard, and we look forward to another good year this year.
As a pitching coach, what are some of your responsibilities?
My responsibilities as a pitching coach is to get the pitchers to throw strikes, to get them to have confidence in themselves, pitch to contact, so that our defense can make the plays, to keep them encouraged, that their minds are focused on what they're doing, and to contribute to the success of the team.
Okay, you lost a couple key pitchers from last year's team. What are your keys for this year's pitchers in order to get back to that regional matchup and maybe going forward past that?
Well, for us to be successful, as I said earlier, that we've got to throw strikes. We've got to get ahead in the count with the batters. We've got to make every pitch count. We can't throw 100 pitches and not be over the plate with it. To get back to winning the sectional championship, they're all going to have to contribute. We're going to have to pitch to our strengths, just like the hitting. We're just going to have to do the things that we know to do, and we're going to have to pitch our pitchers in the right games where they can be successful.
All right, that's pitching coach Danny Napier. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
All right, I'm joined now with head coach Brett Kuhn of the Scott Skyhawks. Brett, last year, your first season here at Scott, you was able to capture the first sectional championship since the 99 season. Explain what your feeling was being able to do that in your first year.
Well, Kris, before I answer that question, let me thank you for coming down here, and I appreciate all the hard work you're putting into this to promote Scott and Skyhawks Baseball. It's really appreciated. I had 12 years of experience at Sherman, and got to come back to Madison and was out of coaching for 5 years, and I really missed it. And what last year's sectional title meant to me is it showed the commitment that those young men made to the program, what it meant to them. And, it'd been a few years since we'd had that kind of success here at Scott, and to have those seniors and those players buy in, it really meant a lot to me that they wanted to make that commitment, and then winning was important to them. And I'd also like to add that the 3 sectional games we played against Chapmanville were 3 of the most exciting games that you ever want to be at. And, as a baseball fan, if you couldn't enjoy those 3 games, the 3 games against Chapmanville, you just stay at the house. It was just a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity on the field.
You hit on it there, the Chapmanville series. It was spread out over about a week and a half. Explain what it was like trying to keep your team mentally prepared, and not only that, but physically prepared for.
Well, again, I have to give a lot of credit to the players for that. They were hungry, and it was difficult. We started on a Monday, got rained out, picked it back up on a Thursday, and didn't play again until the following Thursday. So, we had a 10 or 11 day stretch, and our players were hungry. They were committed, and our seniors really stepped up in that situation. And we were not going to let Chapmanville take it away from us. When we got into that third game, it was just back and forth all game, and it was just it was a battle we weren't going to lose.
A couple of the other assistant coaches, and you hit on the seniors from last year. They're gone. You got a new group of seniors and new group of juniors that are trying to become leaders. What can you see that they can do in order to keep your team prepared? Well,
each team has a different dynamic, and most of the time that is set by the seniors, and it's nobody is going to be surprised. It's going to be hard to replace those guys from last year, but we have some seniors and some juniors who are dedicated, spend a lot of time in the off season conditioning, getting ready, and I have to also say, Coach Harper, Coach Napier, and Coach Burns do an outstanding job with these young men, and we work hard, but at the same time we have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And I think this year's team has a lot to prove, but there's a lot of talent, and I think over the course of the year you're going to see us just continue to get better.
Okay. From a head coaching perspective, what do you think you need to do to be able to get back and win that sectional championship, go on to regionals, and try to get to the state championship in Charleston?
I really feel like we've just got to play better defense. Our pitchers pitch to contact. I think our lineup is going to be solid. We're going to score some runs. But I think we have to be able to make not the spectacular play, but just make that routine play to get that third out, so your pitcher doesn't have to throw another 15 pitches to get out of the inning. So I really think defensively is what we're really focusing on this off season, and in these first 3 weeks leading up to our first game. And I think that will be the difference maker for us, the way we play defense.
All right, there it is from Coach Kuhn himself. Coach, good luck this season.
Thank you very much, Kris. Appreciate it.
And we'd like to thank the players and coaches for those interviews. We'd like to wish the entire Scott Baseball program nothing but the best as they start this upcoming 2014 season, as they try to build on their success from last season. In other Skyhawk news, the 7th-seeded Scott Lady Hawks was defeated today by the 2-seeded Westside Renegades, 56-42. Senior Allie Jo Whitman chipped in 14 points and 9 rebounds to lead the Skyhawks, and senior Julie Conaway added 11 points, 4 rebounds with 2 assists. For the Renegades, Lester chipped in 20 points, 14 rebounds to lead all scorers. This was a game that, right from the start, Westside kind of run away with. Scott made several attempts to come back in the game, and every time that they would seem like they would make a run, Westside would be there to answer right back. What are your thoughts, Jarron?
I agree with you, Kris, about Scott having a couple of good runs that kept the game close, but ultimately Westside was just a little too tough for him.
Okay, and we'd like to congratulate the seniors, Julie Conaway, Allie Jo Whitman, Jamie Dotson on their year. Congratulations to Allie Jo Whitman again, 1,000-point scorer for Scott. And we hate that their season had to come to an end, but they made a great run. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, the Scott boys will face the Polka Dots for the regional final for a chance to go to Charleston. So get out and support your Scott Skyhawks as they take on the Polka Dots. And as always, thanks for listening. This is Kris Barrett and Jarron Gore for the Skyhawks Sports Radio Network. Thanks.